Good afternoon, students. Today we will discuss about government executive and legislature. This is related to 8th class NTSC syllabus, government executive and legislature. At first we will start our discussion from government. Let me ask a question. What is government? Government is considered a constitutional body which has many organs to work. We have a solo body made of different organs and the work of every organ is specific. Likewise, the government has different organs to work and to administrate properly in a systematic way. Basically, in this chapter, we will see about meaning of government, government executive and legislature. As I have just told you, like government is a constitutional body which is organized to administrate properly. Now we will see the organs of the government. Basically, there are three organs of the government. The first is legislature. The second is executive. And the third one is judiciary. The work of legislature is to make the laws, whereas executive implements these laws, and the work is judiciary to check on whether followed by everyone or implemented properly or not, At first we will discuss about legislature. That is the first organ of government. When we discuss about the types of legislature, we can say there are two types of legislature. The first is unicameral and the second is bicameral. The first is unicameral and the second is bicameral. Unicameral means single house. Bi means two, that's why bicameral means two houses. When we discuss the legislature in reference to center, we can say we have bicameral legislature. But in our most of the states, we have unicameral legislature, like Rajasthan. Because in Rajasthan, we have only single house, that is Vidhan Sabha. So at first, we will discuss about bicameral legislature in reference to center. Like this can also be classified on the basis of central level and state level. In center, it is known as parliament. In India, it is known as parliament. Whereas in a state, it is known as state legislature. Parliament has two houses. The one is Lok Sabha and the other one is Rajya Sabha. But when we discuss the organs of parliament, we can say parliament has three organs. The first is president, the second is Lok Sabha and the other one is Rajya Sabha. The organs of parliament: president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are the two houses of parliament in center. That's why we can say that in center we have bicameral legislature. Parliament is considered the ultimate law-making body, or we can say supreme law-making body, where each and every article is defined, discussed, and laws are made. Let me first discuss about President. President is considered the first person of the country. Basically, in reference to President, we will discuss about qualification, oath, term and salary, election and removal, and later on we will discuss about the powers of President. President is considered the highest executive of country, and executive decisions and executive functions are taken on his name. He is the head of the state and represents the Republic of India. I use the term Republic in reference to President. At first I want to ask a question. What do you mean by Republic? Can any democratic country be termed as Republic? No. Any democratic country cannot be termed as Republic country. Why? Because the meaning of Republic is when the head is elected by the people, not chosen on the basis of hereditary. For example, in India, India is termed as Republic country because here the head of the state, that is President, is indirectly elected by the people. Whereas Britain cannot be termed as Republic country. Why Britain cannot be termed as Republic country? Because in Britain, the head of the state, that is Empress of Britain or Queen of Britain, is chosen on the basis of hereditary. So being a democratic country, it cannot be termed as a republic country. That is the basic difference between democracy and republic. Because in democracy, although representatives are elected by the common people, but it's not necessary that the head of the state is also chosen by the people. At first we will discuss about qualification of the President. The first matter is age. Minimum age for being the President of country is 35 years. 35 years, and he should be the citizen of India. He should not have any office of profit. And he should not be declared insolvent. Shouldn't be declared insolvent by the court. When we discuss the age matter of President, we can have a glance on the age criteria of different elections, like 35 years. This is the minimum age for the election of President, Vice President, and for Governor also. 30 years. Minimum age criteria for being a member of Rajya Sabha and State Legislative Council. That is also known as Vidhan Parishad. (35 years). Minimum age for being a member of Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly. That is known as Vidhan Sabha. 21 years. It is the minimum age of being a member of local government. And 18 years for being eligible vote casting. It means voting right. This age is related to universal adult franchisee. In India, In 1950s, every person was provided voting right, but at that time the minimum age was 21 years. But the minimum age for voting right is 18 years now, and it was declared by Rajiv Gandhi. It was amended at the time of Rajiv Gandhi. Now we will see oath. The President takes an oath before assuming office in the presence of Chief Justice of India. In the presence of Chief Justice of India. And if the Chief Justice of India is not available, then he takes the oath in the presence of the senior most judge of the Supreme Court. At the time of the absence of Chief Justice of India, senior most judge of the Supreme Court, term. The President is elected for 5-year term, and he can seek re-election for another term, because our constitution is silent in reference to re-election of any president. Salary and other perks. At present, the president is getting 1,50,000 salary, 50,000 per month, and he is entitled to accommodation in Rashtrapati Bhavan, or we can say President House, free of cost. And this President House or Rashtrapati Bhavan is situated on Raisina Hills in Delhi and famous for Mughal garden. Besides, he gets other facilities and allowances which may be decided by the parliament from time to time. Election. Indirectly elected. He is indirectly elected, and the system by which he is elected is known as electoral college. Why it is known as electoral college? Because only elected representatives, or we can say only elected members of parliament and state legislature can participate in the election of president. Nominated candidates are not allowed to participate in the election of president. That's why it is known as electoral college. Indirectly elected. Why it is considered that the president is indirectly elected? Because common people cannot participate directly in the election of president. On the behalf of the representatives, it can participate indirectly in the election of president, like only elected members of state legislature and parliament are allowed to cast their vote at the time of president's election. For example, like in lower house of parliament, that is Lok Sabha, we have 545 members, and these 545 members can be divided like this: 543 and 2. These two are nominated from Anglo-Indian community, whereas these 543 are elected by common people. Likewise, in Rajya Sabha we have 250 members, and this can also be classified like this: 238 and 12. 238 are elected by MLAs, whereas 12 are nominated by President. Like at the time of president elections, these 2 nominated members and these 12 nominated members are not allowed to cast their vote. Only 543 members of Lok Sabha and 238 members of Rajya Sabha are entitled to cast their vote at the time of president's election. The method which is used at the time of president election is proportional representation single transferable voting system. Method that is used proportional representation single transferable voting system, a single transferable vote. What is this method? What is the system of proportional representation single transferable voting system? The single transferable voting system is a system based on proportional representation and preferential voting. Under this system, an elector's vote is initially allocated to his or her most preferred candidate, and then after candidates have been either elected or eliminated, any surplus or unused votes are transferred according to voters' stated preferences. Like these are 5 candidates A, B, C, D and E who are contesting the election of president, and there are 5 voters. First gave his first preference to A, second preference to B, third preference to C, fourth preference to D and fifth preference is given to E. Whereas second voter gave his third preference to A, first preference to B, second preference to C, fifth preference to D and fourth preference to E. Third voter gives his first preference to A, third preference to B, second preference to C, fourth preference to D and fifth preference to E. Fourth voter gives his third preference to A, first preference to B, fourth preference to C, fifth preference to D and second preference to E. Whereas fifth voter gives his second preference to A, third preference to B, fourth preference to C, first preference to D and fifth preference to E. Now at first we will count the first preference. A gets 2 first preference, B also get 2 first preference, C get no first preference, so he will be eliminated. E will also be eliminated because of not getting first preference, whereas D gets only 1 first preference. Now we can transfer the first preference of D to its second preference, that is A. It means this will be cut down and this second preference will be changed in first preference, and now A gets 3 first preference. Now A gets 3 first preference, that's why A will be considered as the president. He will be considered the winning candidate and will be the president of the country. That is the election process of president, that is known as proportional representation single transferable vote. Because in this voting system, voting, or we can say the preference of voters, can be transferred on the basis of their preferences. Now we will see the removal of president, that is on the basis of impeachment. A removal process, and the process by which the president can be rejected by his chair is known as impeachment process, and this impeachment process is also followed in parliament. At the time of election, we have seen MLAs can also participate in president's election, but at the time of impeachment process, MLAs are not allowed, They are not allowed to sign the impeachment proposal of President. Only the members of parliaments are allowed to participate in the removal process of President. President can be impeached for the violation of the Constitution, and this process may start in any of the two houses of parliament by a notice which has to be signed by at least 1/4 of the total membership of the house. Then the notice is sent to the President, and 14 days later it is taken up for consideration. A resolution to impeach the President has to be passed by a 2/3 majority of the total members of that house. During this process, the President has the right to defend himself through an authorized counsel. After it, the notice is sent to the other house, which investigates the charges that have been made against the President. If the second house also approves the charges by a 2/3 majority again, the President is removed from the office of prophet. The President addresses his resignation to the Vice President. Process may start in any house. Which has to be signed at least 1/4 membership of the house. After it, it is sent for the consideration. And later on it is discussed in that house, and during this process President can defend himself, and this resolution has to be passed by a 2/3 majority of the house. By the 2/3 majority of the house and President has the right to defend himself. After it, it is sent into another house, and the same process is followed in that house also. And if the resolution has passed by 2/3 majority again in that house, the President is removed from his office before his term. In our next video, we will discuss about the powers and functions of presidents. Basically, the powers of president can also be divided into 4 parts. The first is legislature power, the second is executive power, the third is judiciary power, and the last and the supreme power is emergency power, which will be discussed in our later videos.